After Nwakego was banished, Adaeze was so happy because there was no one standing in the way of her love for Prince Obiora, and she was sure that if Obiora searched for Nwakego and couldn't find her, that he would come looking for her, Princess Adaeze, and they would continue their relationship from where they stopped. Obiora was very busy that he couldn't come to Ababa for over a week, and he was having a strange feeling that something bad has happened. So he took some time off to go and see Nwakego. But as he got to her late parents' hut, he saw that the place looks dirty and unkept. Nwakego has never been a dirty person. Why is this place like this? Is Nwakego sick? Or has something worse happened to her? Prince Obiora thought to himself. Then he went inside and noticed that Nwakego has not been there for some time. So he proceeded to the king's palace. On getting there, he approached Adaeze. After greetings were exchanged, he then told Adaeze how busy he has been all this while. Unknown to him that Adaeze knew what was going on between him and Nwakego. They chatted for some time, and Adaeze called for some food for herself and the prince. While the food was served and they began to eat, the prince asked, "Where is the dark maid that works here? The one that served us food the previous time I came here." He didn't want to call her by her name and make her suspect anything, but Adaeze replied that she did not know her whereabouts and continued eating her food. Obiora was becoming agitated because he was not getting the reply he wanted, but he tried to be calm all through his stay with the princess. When he left, he asked few people around the village for Nwakego's whereabouts, but each person he asked would say they don't know, because earlier the king has ordered that no one is allowed to say anything about Nwakego whereabouts to the prince, or the person will suffer the same fate as Nwakego. Obiora found it very weird that she would just disappear into thin air. Obiora decided to go back to his kingdom when he remembered he needed to get some things for his father. When he got to the market, he heard some women talking about a girl that was banished few days ago for stealing and lying about it. In his mind, he concluded it was not Nwakego. She can't steal. He even thought of the times when he would bring her expensive gifts, and each time she ends up refusing them. He has been with Nwakego enough to know that Nwakego is not any of these things these women were talking about. But at the back of his mind, he thought there's a possibility that they were talking about his beloved Nwakego. Few days later, he came back to the king's palace. Along the entrance, he saw a maid whom he recognized as one of the maids that serve in the palace. She beckoned on him to follow her, and as he did, she took him to a private place and told him everything about how Nwakego was banished from the land, how she suspected that Nwakego was set up, and then she told him never to disclose her identity, which he agreed. Obiora was so sad and furious. He didn't know what to do. It's been over a week and he can't do anything now. He has heard of people that went to the forest and never returned. Nwakego might have been devoured by wild animals. His mood changed due to this new information, so he just went back home to silently mourn for his beloved. Weeks has passed and there is no sign of Obiora. So Adaeze decided to visit him. She put on her best attire and went. On getting there, she was told the prince wasn't receiving visitors, but she insisted on seeing him, which he later agreed. "Why did you lie to me, Adaeze?" Prince Obiora asked. Adaeze didn't know what the prince was talking about, so she went on to ask him that she has no idea of what he was saying. Obiora hit the nail on the head. "Why did you lie to me about Nwakego's disappearance?" Adaeze began to beg the prince and told him of how she loved him and didn't want to lose him to anyone, and that they were meant for each other. These words disgusted the prince, and he went on to tell her of how he won't be coming to Ababa to see her, and that she should not show her face or come to his palace anymore. Adaeze cried and begged the prince, but his mind was made up. Back in the forest, Nwakego walked and walked for days. She was so hungry for food. She has only been eating wild fruit she found in the forest. After walking for 6 days, and she felt like she could just die, she sighted a hut in the distance and approached it with the last of her strength. On getting there, she saw an older woman. She greeted her. The old woman introduced herself as Ngozi. She welcomed Nwakego to her hut, fed her, and told her to go to sleep. "We will talk when you are well rested," Ngozi said. When Nwakego woke up a few hours later, it was already sunset, and Ngozi already made dinner. While they were eating, Ngozi then asked Nwakego what she was doing deep in this lonely forest. Nwakego told her everything about her parents, her being a maid in the palace, and how she was framed for what she knew nothing about. She cried as she talked about it. She in return then asked Ngozi, saying, "Mama, what are you doing in this forest alone?" Nwakego called her mother as a sign of respect and because she felt that she can trust her. Ngozi then began her story. "I was once married and had 3 sons. My husband was the first son of his father, and he got most of his late father's property. But this did not sit well with his younger brother Obum. Obum wanted everything for himself, and he would often fight with my husband for landed property and money. I will always tell my husband to be careful about his brother. One day, I cooked lunch for my family before going to the market where I sell my foodstuffs, only for me to come back and see my family dead from eating the food I cooked, the same food I ate before going out. And it occurred to me that someone has poisoned the food in my absence, and I suspected no other person than Obum, my late husband's brother. The villagers gathered and called me a witch, that I used the life of my husband and children to expand mine, and wanted to stone me to death, but I ran for my life, and that was how I came to live in this forest." Nwakego and Ngozi cried for each other, and they were now living together peacefully. And while they were living together, Ngozi taught Nwakego the art of herbal medicine. Ngozi has a small farm where she plants some food crops and sells the excess in the local market. Nwakego helps with the farm and they planted more crops than usual. Nwakego will take them to the local market to sell or exchange them for other food produce. She even suggested that she should pick some fruits in season from the forest to sell in the market, which people loved and they bought from her. It's been 2 years already since Nwakego has been staying with Mama, and it's been the most peaceful 2 years of her life since the death of her parents. She was so happy and felt at peace. Obiora's father has been sick for the past year. They have gone to every herbalist and specialist hospital they could find, but he was not improving. Obiora was the one in charge of everything until his father gets well. Sometimes he will make travels to do trade, and it was that time of the year when he would travel again. This time, he will be traveling to the big kingdom of Inzi, and it will take him 3 days to go there by horse. On reaching there, he did his trade and was buying some things that he would take back home. While he was in the market, he saw someone very similar to Nwakego from behind, and as he tried to approach that person, he lost her in the crowd. He searched for her but found nothing. He concluded that his mind were playing tricks on him. A day before his departure from Izi, he went to the market again. Unfortunately for him, he saw Nwakego and he was so happy to see her. She was so beautiful than she was before. They hugged each other and laughed. They both talked about everything that has happened in their lives in the past years. He then told her of his sick father back home. Nwakego then volunteered to help since she knows her way around herbs. She asked for the symptoms and took Obiora to the local market to get some things she will need for the medicine. She came back and made some herbal oil and tea for the king. Obiora wanted her to go with him to administer the medicine herself, but she didn't want to leave Mama alone. But Mama insisted she go with him and comes back when she was done. They journeyed to Obiora's kingdom. On reaching there, she rested for the evening and started treatment on the king the next morning. The king was recovering fast with Nwakego's treatment. Within 2 weeks, the king was strong and healthy, and he asked Nwakego to demand anything from him that he would give it to her. Nwakego only asked for a house to be built for her and her mother, Ngozi. The king rather gave her one of his houses. Nwakego went with Prince Obiora to bring her mother. They were so happy to finally see a place they can call home. With this, Obiora and Nwakego's relationship became so strong, and after 2 years, they got married and ruled side by side after Obiora's father stepped down, and they were blessed with beautiful children and a peaceful home. Few moral lessons I could gather from this story are: there's a reason for every person you meet in life. 2. Don't treat people bad because you feel you are bigger than them in one way or the other. 3. No beauty shines brighter than a good heart. Have a good heart. It's worth more than gold. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video. Bye.